Good morning guys, Unfrequented World Photography, and today I want to start a new series on post-processing. I want to show you guys the basic steps involved in taking your pictures and making them really stand out. And there are 4 steps that I use probably on 99% of all my photos, whether I take them on a little point and shoot or whether I take them on my professional gear. If you guys start with these basics, you're going to notice a drastic improvement right away. And we're going to show you guys, as long as you have a computer and any photo editing program, you can do these 4 basic steps. Okay, here we are guys in my editing suite of choice, which is Corel Paint Shop Pro. This is version 19 I'm using. I've been using this program since version 12 or 13, I believe. It does everything that Photoshop does, but at a fraction of the price. So it's very economical. You can get this program for about $50, okay? And it does everything. So what I've done is I've loaded up a photo here that's, it looks like a great photo, but there is potential for work. And I'm gonna show you guys 4 basic steps can really make this image pop. So the first thing we're gonna do is over on the right-hand side, we're gonna click on our layer and we're gonna create a duplicate. So basically it's just going to make the same image over top of itself, and we're doing that so that we can see the changes we make. And I'll show you that as we make some changes we'll be able to click back to the original and compare them. So the first thing that I do, step number 1 for every photo, is sharpen it. Okay, and we go up to adjust, sharpness, and I use a high pass sharpen. I have played with all of these. And I have done, guys, literally, I've been a graphic designer for 23 years, probably closing in on 1 million photographs. I've played with every type of sharpen. This high pass sharpen is what I've decided over the years on its default settings of 10 radius, 70 strength, and a soft light is what every photograph is, particularly landscapes when you want to bring out some more detail. It's the all-around best one to go to, okay? And what I'll do is I'll show you guys, I don't know if you can see that, we will render these files at the end of this video right into the timeline so that you can have a comparison of before and after, okay? That's without the sharpening effect, and that's with the sharpening effect, okay? Without, and there's with. Okay, step number 2 is we're going to adjust the contrast of the photo. So up at the top we click on our Adjust tab, go to Brightness and Contrast, and we go down to Levels. Okay? And so what we're going to do here essentially is we're going to bring up the blacks, bring up the highlights, and we're going to make this image really stand out. Right now it's kind of got a wash to it, but watch what happens when we bring this black level up. It kind of gets rid of, there's like a sheen almost on every photo that you take from your lens. And so how these guys win competitions, they really tweak these levels, the high end and the low end. So what I like to do with the black end here is I bring it up and I usually don't go any higher than 10. And it's all by eye. You know, after you do a few 100,000 of these, you kind of go, well, that's what works. So usually 10 is as high as I go. This image here was taken on a Sony A350 and is probably about an 8-year-old image, so it needs a little bit more post work than some of the newer cameras that I use. So I'll put it right at my maximum of 10. Then I take the highlights, and usually you see this graph here where it comes down. If you bring the highlights just to the end before it flatlines, that's probably where you want it, is somewhere right in the end. And you're looking on the screen to make sure that you have white or light areas that aren't blown out. And blown out means you've lost all detail, there's just a bright white spot there. So you want to just drag that until you get some nice life in your picture, but you're not blowing any areas out. And it's usually right where this curve, just before it flatlines. Okay, so now we'll show you the change that we just made by clicking over on our right side. We'll hide that level and show it. This is the original picture. That's with our contrast changes. Original, contrast. Okay guys, the third step is adjusting warmth. I shoot Minolta glass. Sony bought out the Minolta system back in 2008, and I've been shooting Sony ever since, and I own a ton of old Minolta glass, and they are world renowned for their color balance, their warmth that they get from these lenses, okay? So the third step, we're going to go up and click Adjust, White Balance, and when you normally open this up, you're just going to see a slider bar. I click on the Advanced option, so I have two sliders I'm going to adjust. So the first one here, and I just know from experience, I like mine somewhere up around 7,000. And the bottom adjuster, you can see it remembers your last choice that you've made. So it's pretty close here. It's somewhere around 6,000. It's all by eye, guys. So whatever is pleasing to you, okay? But the third step is adding warmth. Okay, now we'll look at the change we just made. There's our original photo, and there's with the added warmth. The final step to making your picture really jump off the page is saturation. If you look at any of these competitions that are being run and you look at these photos, you say, wow, that just grabs me. Why? It's because they've adjusted the saturation, okay? So step number 4, we're going to go to Adjust, Hue and Saturation, and Vibrancy. Okay, and usually I don't go too crazy, somewhere around 12 or 14 usually. Here's our original photo, and with our vibrancy added. Okay guys, I've taken you through the 4 steps. We are back on the original photo, and now I'm going to show you by clicking on our layer over on the side what the changes look like when all 4 of them are done together. So here's our original photo, and this is now what it looks like after we've done all our work. Night and day difference. There you have it, guys. That's the 4 basic steps I use in 99% of my professional work to make it stand out. You've got contrast, sharpness, warmth, and saturation. You change those 4 things and you're going to notice a huge improvement in your own work. Hope you guys had fun and learned something, and stay tuned because later this week I've got more tips.